Hey friends, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do a quick update on my candle project. So I know in the past I have not formally been calling this a project of any sort, but I think at this point the project is just Operation Get Through My Candle Stash. It's not necessarily going to be a project in the way that I don't move on from anything unless I finish it, because I want to, I don't know, I want to kind of try new things. I'm stuck between I need to finish a candle all the way down before I can rotate more things into this. And part of me is I have candles in my collection that are already burned that I'm re-pulling out. So is it the end of the world if I put burned candles back to focus on them the following season? So I think essentially what I have done is I put out all my fall candles. I kind of sorted them into this is more September, this is more October, this is more November. And I think I'm just gonna go from there and burn appropriate candles for that month instead of, wasting my time trying to finish a September scent in November. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of not what I had been doing in the past, but today I'm going to share with you what I have been working on and then some new things that I rolled in to work on. If I don't finish them and I put them back in my collection, great. If they're past a certain point, which I'll talk about some of these, I probably am not going to put them in my collection. If they're under halfway, I'm either crocking them or finishing them. But some of these candles I've only burned a couple of times. I don't have a problem with putting them back, I guess. I'm gonna try out this new kind of style and see how I like it. So first, let's talk about the single wicks I'm working on. First, I am working on Mahogany Vanilla. I actually have this one marked and it looks like nothing has changed, but it just hasn't pulled out again since I have burned it. So I am actually going to remark it a little bit lower, but it's not entirely pulled out. So I'm just gonna take an educated guess here on where I should mark it, which I think I'm just gonna do right here. That seems right to me. So whatever. I mean, this is just a single wick, it's not a big deal. I love this freaking scent though, you guys. It is so good. It's warm vanilla, bergamot, and sweet sandalwood. So it's half mahogany teakwood, half vanilla bean, which the next scent I'm working on is vanilla bean. So I love this packaging. So I actually haven't been marking it at all because I really want to repurpose this packaging. I don't know if I've honestly used this candle since I talked to you last, and it's not doing the best. Clearly it has, this is clearly not pulled out all the way by any stretch of the imagination. It does smell good though. I do like this scent. So I am working on this kind of mahogany vanilla only in the bedroom for the most part. The vanilla bean, and then I'm also working on strawberry pound cake. I do both of these kind of in my more kitchen area. And so I only did strawberry pound cake in one time since this last update. I was really working on my bigger candles, which I feel you'll see in my progress. So I really need to focus on these single wicks again. But I don't have as many single wicks in my collection as 3 wicks, so they don't take precedence. But this one's pulling out decently. I probably could have marked it lower. Of course, where my lines are is where it's not pulling out fully, but whatever. I feel the single wicks all do pretty good. I do generally, the single wicks burn pretty much to the bottom for me, generally with no issues, but I will put the last little bit in a crock just to get life out of it. My 3 wicks are not the same story. So those are the single wicks I'm working on. Those 3 I will continue to work on until I'm essentially done with them before I roll others in for single wicks is the plan. I also don't necessarily have any single wicks at this point that I really want or need to roll in. So I think we're okay. Okay, moving along. I have my 2 Homeworks candles that I'm still working on. One is salted caramel cake, and this one smells amazing, and I actually have really good progress on it. I need to mark it, but as you can see, I think I'm here. So So I'm gonna mark it right there. Honestly, for me, I don't work from home, so like I don't get much time. I get the weekends, I get the mornings, and I get the evenings to burn candles. So I don't get much time with these. I would say I'm about halfway at this point with this candle, and it's been doing pretty good. It's been pulling all the way out with the help of my hurricane, but can you see how dirty this wax is? I've been using my Homeworks hurricane, but I feel like it makes the wicks really dance. I don't know a better term for it, but like it really makes the wicks move, and then they start to like smoke. I take the hurricane off and they're like straight up and down. So essentially what I have been doing is just letting this burn on its own. And then if I realize maybe, you know, like 30 minutes before I want to blow it out, it's not quite pooled. Like, I don't know if you can tell up here how it's just not quite all the way to the edge. Like all along here, there is some unevenness. I hope you can see that. So like 30-ish minutes before I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to put this out, I'll put the hurricane around it. That at least minimizes the time the flames are like going crazy, and then it fully pulls out all the way. So ideally, I really want to burn my Homeworks all the way to the bottom if possible. I just don't know if I need to just trim up these wicks more. Like, I just don't know what the deal is. I really don't want to make this into melts or put it under a lamp. Not that I can't do either of those things, but I just don't want to. I want to burn those all the way down. And generally, I don't care with my smaller candles that fit in my crock. But since these are Homeworks, I'm treating them a little bit differently. So also, because this is a lot older in my collection and I really want to work on it, I think it's from mid 2021. You guys taught me how to read the dates down here, so I think it's from like May 2021. So it's a hot cider donut. I have 3 hot cider donuts, all from this, like, they all have the same date on the bottom. So I haven't worked on this, even though I did mark it. I actually haven't done anything with it. So I want to attempt to light this up. I think I have the one Homeworks candle in my hurricane. I think I'm gonna put the other one on a Homeworks candle stand. I actually have like a pedestal, and then maybe that will help me just because it's out. It'll help me use it a little bit. So hopefully when I come back in the next video, I don't know if I'll actually keep these 2 out. For sure, the salted caramel cupcake I want to finish this month, but even if I get like halfway with this one, I don't know if I'll keep it in here or roll it out. I don't entirely know what my plan is for that yet, but I definitely need to work on this. It's perfect for this month. It honestly would have been perfect for last month, but I didn't touch it. So we're getting to it right now. Okay. These are my 2 weekend morning burns. So I've been combining Pumpkin Donut Shop and my white caramel cold brew by the suggestion of Hi, it's Vicky. She was saying how she likes to mix her Pumpkin Donut Shop with a coffee candle, and my current coffee candle is white caramel cold brew. I will just say that I have been making incredible progress on this candle. It did this morning get a little bit sooty, as you can see. Don't know what happened there, because I feel like the way this soot right here is not by the craziest wick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me see if I could mark this at all. I feel like I did really good on this one, you guys. Considering it's just been a weekend burn too, that's pretty freaking good progress in my opinion. I'm really happy about this, but obviously it's clearly a hot burner. I feel like it has been this whole time, but today something must have really happened because we really have this right there. So I think I'm going to just continue to trim the wicks and keep going on this. I do only do this one under the stove like range hood, which makes me feel a little bit better. If it gets increasingly worse, I'll probably stop, but like the wax pool looks okay. It's just that one little spot. So I won't do anything with it until this upcoming weekend, but I'll probably then evaluate, trim the wicks. I always cut off the little like crazy nubs that are going on, because as you can see, like this one seems to get those. I cut those off. I don't trim them super short. I just cut off that bad part and then I go with it. but we'll see. So worst case, I'll put this in my crock. I'd love to burn it down a little bit farther just because I would just like to do that. But if I can't, it's whatever. Okay, and then going with it, I've had the pumpkin donut shop. So this one, even though it hasn't been pulling out very well, it has a jimmy hair in it. As you can see, it hasn't been pulling out the best. It actually was a lot worse than this, and I've been using it in my Crate and Barrel Ellery Hurricane. That is phenomenal for my Bath & Body Works candles. It really has made a difference in this pumpkin donut shop. And I have another candle here that I'm going to show you that I'm also going to use in that Ellery Hurricane. But honestly, all things considered, you only using this on the weekends, and it's pooling issues, and like barely, it like totally has puny wicks and all the things. My Sharpie's dying. I need to like put it upside down to get the juices flowing. So all things considered, I still feel like I made pretty good progress on this. Like I made more progress on this than some of my other candles. I think just having this designated, like I'm going to do this every weekend in the morning, has really helped. And so some of those ones that I have kind of like those assigned times to, I've really done well with, versus others that you'll be able to tell I haven't done as great. So I'm really happy about this. And I will say this year's version, which is actually last year's version, but this current like one I'm holding version is so much better than the like pink and white label. They had the white wax. Like I love the smell of this specific candle. Same scent notes, but this I get so much of a richer like actual pumpkin donut versus the other one I got just a lot of powdered sugar, which was still good, but this is so much better, you guys. I'm really bummed they didn't come back out with this, especially how much I'm enjoying this one, but it's okay. I do also think the Hurricane has been helping with the throw of this because it's been so strong. I've been doing it on one side of the living room in the Hurricane and the other white caramel cold brew coffee scent under the stove, so it's on the whole other side. And I feel like I mostly am getting the pumpkin donut shop until I'm actually in the kitchen. So that's been amazing. Okay, next, let's talk about my other candle that definitely is going to need some help in the Hurricane. It is warm apple pie. So you guys, this is what my pumpkin donut shop looked like before I had put it in the Hurricane. So I used it a little bit. I am going to remark it. However, it's clearly not pulling out. Like it very, very obviously is not pulling out. I'm going to mark it kind of funny because there's clearly this big thing of wax right here. So something I will say about the Hurricane, especially with these tiny, tiny wicks, is the more this melts from the side, the tinier it looks like your wicks get because the wax pool is like rising essentially because of all this extra melted wax that is like getting added to the pool. So essentially, I don't let it like pool all the way out, all the way across, which you could probably see with my pumpkin donut shop. I just let it get like decently close, and then once it looks like the wicks are like maybe not gonna make it for sure, like I don't want to overload the wick, so I'll let it maybe get a little bit, I'll put it out, the next burn I'll get a little bit more, I'll put it out. I'm just kind of babying it that way just so I don't completely dead out my wicks. I mean, this is a really full candle. I don't want to put this in the crock yet if I can help it, and I feel like the Ellery Hurricane is really gonna help. I at least want to see this, and that's all where my wax pool, like if I could just at least get to that so I could see it burning like through this little window. Like I finally got there with my pumpkin donut shop on that. So I mean, maybe it was just the candles in this collection, but the candle I'm going to talk about next is also from this collection, and I feel like it's got a different but same story. So it's caramel pumpkin swirl, and honestly I just love these gold lids. I've just been rotating these around my candles, so if I finish up candles with these more gold lids, I've been just tossing the more casual like silver lids and reusing these ones because I think they're so much more pretty and not fingerprinty. Like this is so fingerprinty, if you can see. I've just been keeping these ones. So we have caramel pumpkin swirl. this is probably the candle I've made the best progress on. Besides the Homeworks, I feel like I did really good on the salted caramel cake from Homeworks, but this one I feel like is my top dog winner currently. So that's pretty good for me. And honestly, this scent I've just been working on in the mornings. So this is essentially my morning before I go to work candle, and I feel like I've been doing really good with it. I do want to say in the beginning, this candle was very much like that white caramel cold brew in the sense that it burned really hot, it pulled out really fast, the wicks were really super tall, it was doing all the things. I don't know what happened, but I have the puniest wicks in this candle now. Like, they are so tiny. It also, as you can tell, started to kind of get a little bit of not pulling out all the way situation right here, and then it kind of like, I don't want to say escalated, because it kind of fixed itself. I let it burn for a little bit longer, but as you can see, it's doing a little bit of a situation right here. Obviously, everywhere else we're not having those issues, but now we're also having the puny wick issues. So I just want to show you, like, they're so tiny. They're still lightable. I think, I actually don't know if I've lit this up. Probably Friday was the last day I lit this up. It's currently Labor Day, Monday. So tomorrow morning I will probably light it as well. I'll just keep at it until I feel like it's not making it anymore. I mean, obviously if one of the wick studs out, it's going in the crock, but I'll just see. I'll keep monitoring it. This one is also, since I do in the morning, I do it under the stove as well. But now that it has these puny wicks, the flames aren't really like blowing in the way that they would need to be under the stove, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not actively wiggling around or sitting or anything. When the wicks are this small, typically they just stand straight up and they don't move. No matter what happens, they usually don't go anywhere. But I'm just really proud of the progress I've made on this one. So that's my morning one. Once I'm done with this in the morning, I'll probably rotate to another more like morning candle. Like I said, having this designated for the morning, I feel like has really helped me get through it. I also may kind of do a little bit of a rotation, like whichever, you know, maybe I'll pick 5 and I'll do one every day in the morning or something. That'll help me kind of rotate the progress, if you will, versus having super progress on one and none on the others. So that's maybe the plan. I gotta take a drink of my water, and Jimmy's trying to get my attention. Jimmy, do you want to say hi to the YouTube friends? Do you want to say hi? Oh, look at that. Who's that? She wants to be naughty. She wants to get up on the... Who's that black cat? Okay, thank you so much for your time. You can go. Okay. This one I actually only burned one time, and it was actually this morning. So it is the Huntington Home Pumpkin Apple Fritter. The notes on this one are bakery, pumpkin, and vanilla, but honestly, this smells really similar to Scentsy's Cider Mill to me. And I know some people say Cider Mill smells like pumpkin apple from Bath & Body Works, but to me, Cider Mill smells like this candle. It's like a little bit of pumpkin, a little bit of apple, or like mostly, I'm trying to think of how I was describing it. It's like kind of got a bakery and a pumpkin and an apple and a little bit of spice. Like, it's not Bath & Body Works pumpkin apple. To me, that has a lot of apple and a little bit of pumpkin. It's more similar to this if you tried this from last year. So I only burned this one time, and it didn't like go crazy. I only burned it for a couple hours, but honestly, it pulled all the way out. And the wicks are a little bit wonky, but it pulled all the way out, and I can't say that for my last pumpkin apple fritter I burned. I burned one of these last year, only for a little bit, because it completely had to go in the crock. However, I bought 3 of these, so this is number 2. Baby amount of progress, and the wicks, they're doing better than I thought they were. I'll definitely cut off those mushrooms, but this one actually did pretty well. So it's quite dark wax still because, like I said, I burned this today and it hasn't fully cooled down yet. But I had that one in to work on, and today's the first day I worked on it, so not good. Speaking of not working on things, I still have in here my Vanilla Bean Noel. I can't bring myself to light this up. I don't know why. I don't know, like, part of me just wants to do it because I don't care about collecting candles. Like, I would rather want this jar. I really want the jar. I don't necessarily care about actually the candle inside, like, forever staying in there. Because while I love Vanilla Bean Noel, this isn't like a it's gonna smell for 20 years candle because it's Vanilla Bean Noel. Like, it smells fine, but it's just a vanilla scent at the end of the day. Like, I don't know. I feel like also Vanilla Bean Noel is very popular and not necessarily the strongest. So I definitely need to trim these wicks because what is happening here? They're so long. But also I need to just light it up in general. And then I really want to mostly just keep the jar. I feel like I got shit in my mouth. It's probably Jenny hair from holding Jenny. So, I mean, honestly though, like, I feel like the jar is kind of getting nicked up. Like, is it even worth keeping at this point? This is, I think, the second oldest candle, if not the oldest candle I have in my collection. It's from the 263rd day of 2020. I know I got this in 2020 in the winter time and I need to burn it. So hopefully by the time I update this project next time, I can say I have burnt it, because I think essentially for like my coffee candles, my bedroom candles, and my more like bakery, any time of year type candles, I just want to go fully through those before I get out another one. My more like seasonal pumpkin donut shop, pumpkin apple fritter, caramel pumpkin swirl, those I don't care about rotating, but I don't want to have like 5 half burned Vanilla Bean Noels, cinnamon spice vanillas, red velvet cupcakes. Like, to me, they're all non-seasonal if they're bakery. Same with this mahogany vanilla. Like, I can do this any time of year. I don't want to put it back like this and get out another one and burn it 3 times and then put it back. Like, I'd rather just finish these that are more non-seasonal, and then my more seasonal ones I could switch up. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so 2 new ones I'm actually bringing into the project. One is Welcome Home. And so this one actually has lines on it because I clearly was working on it in years past. So this one is really, really good. This one is just from last year. I do not believe they brought this one back. Or did they? No, I don't think they did. I mean, it's still early, like they could, I guess, but I don't think they have. So I'm gonna mark this, not that I've actually burned it since anything, but clearly when I put it away, I hadn't marked it. So that is where we're starting with this one. And then, like I said, hopefully, maybe what my plan will be is like some of these more seasonally ones I focus on during the weeks in the morning. This one has really tiny wicks once again, so sometimes these ones with the small wicks, it's hard to work on them in the morning because they don't fully pull out. Like, it's not like I'm here for that long in the morning. Maybe like just under 2 hours is what they burn, but some of these ones pull out within like the hour, and so those are really great to do in the morning. These ones that take like quite a bit to pull out, sometimes they're not my morning faves. And also, I typically just do the stove in the morning. I don't utilize the hurricane or anything, just because I don't want to happen to like forget it. If it's on the stove by the coffee pot, we're golden. If it's in the living room, like in the corner, we maybe aren't so golden, and I don't want to risk that before I go to work. Like, it's morning, haven't had my coffee yet, you know? It's not after work where I like do a wrap up of the house. In the morning, I'm just like, okay, put the stove candle up and then get my ass out of the house. I don't mess with the living room or the living room hurricane. And then the last one in here is also from last year, and it's Fall Festival. So this one I also did work on. It does not have a line though, and it's kind of hard to see. I feel like it's easy to see right there, but to mark it in the back, I probably need to get it up to some light. I generally try to mark these in the back by a wick, but sometimes that's kind of hard. It seems like every time when I mark them, that's the wick that doesn't fully pull out all the way. Or like the one place I mark it is like where it doesn't pull out. Let me read you the notes on this one and I'll tell you a little bit about it. So this is fresh pumpkin, spice cinnamon, sweet maple, almond butter. So the notes are kind of similar to Welcome Home. It smells sweet. It's kind of like a sweet, I don't want to say sweet cinnamon pumpkin because that's a horrible comparison. It's not that, but it's kind of like a sweet pumpkin roll, something like that. Like the cinnamon is sweet, you get a little bit of pumpkin, whatever the sweet maple almond butter, I feel like you get it, that sort of sweetness, kind of like the Welcome Home where it's like very rich. But I can't remember how I felt about this one. I feel like I remember it being really, really strong, and I don't know if I didn't like that or not. I also feel like I marked it excessively low to where it actually is, but I don't know, it's pretty close. Okay, I don't know. I'll do it at least one time and tell you guys. I mean, if I do it one time and I'm like, no, this is actually gross, I don't have a problem just like moving on, but I'll just still clutter it to somebody else who seems to like it. However, hopefully it's good because it smells decent on cold. I feel like I just remember it being really, really strong though. So that is everything I have for this month's go. Like I said, next month I'll probably rotate in some of my more like October candles. We'll see how that works. Hopefully that goes well, but I might try the rotation thing for the days of the week just to kind of help with some of these. And I'll see you guys next month. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.